Modern physics has encountered a structural ceiling. The 12 distinct paradoxes defining our era, from the information paradox in black holes to the missing mass of dark matter, represent an exhausted methodology. Where science identifies these as unsolvable mysteries, the Qur'anic framework identifies them as markers of a specific, predictable boundary. The impasse stems from our exclusive reliance on the D10 field. This is the strictly observable, physical side of reality. We track mass, force, and particle collisions, assuming that if a phenomenon cannot be measured with a physical tool, it lacks structural consequence. Decoding the universe using only physical measurements is equivalent to studying a shadow while ignoring the light source casting it. You can measure the shadow's dimensions and velocity, but the data will eventually produce mathematical contradictions, because the shadow's behavior originates in a domain you aren't looking at. These 12 paradoxes are symptoms of this single blind spot. Science is attempting to balance a universal equation while observing only half of its variables. The dual caustic universe introduces the missing half of this equation, the I9 field, the informational domain of unseen latency and memory. In this framework, the Qur'anic text functions as the source code for a reality that operates across two independent but coupled fields. This source code reveals a universe organized as a continuous breath, a perfect mathematical loop. It cycles through 5 distinct phases, beginning with a single seed state at node 1, bifurcating at node 2, intersecting at a buffer at node 3, and resolving into node 7. Every physical anomaly that currently baffles our observation sits at a specific coordinate on this breathing cycle. Phase 1 begins at the seed. Cosmologists often find themselves calculating a nothingness before the Big Bang, but the DCU identifies this origin as the complete, unmanifested potential of the I9 field. Existence is the default state of the system. Manifestation is simply the moment it begins to move. At node 2, the system bifurcates. Reality separates into 2 simultaneous registrations of the same origin: the D10 field, which provides detectable mass and localization, and the I9 field, a wave field carrying the unseen memory and laws of the system. This dual registration accounts for the dark matter effect. We see galaxies spinning with more force than their visible mass allows, and we search for a hidden physical particle. The extra gravity is actually the structural signature of the I9 container, the unseen field holding the physical half of reality together. Universal expansion, or dark energy, follows a similar logic. Instead of galaxies pushing outward aimlessly, the entire physical field is being magnetically drawn back towards the seed. The perceived expansion is the tension of the return. The dark forces that currently confuse our models are the structural requirements of the unseen domain as it stabilizes the physical universe. At node 3, the unseen I9 field and the physical D10 field reach a bottleneck. This is the buffer, or the tree, the exact mathematical junction where these 2 independent registrations must reconcile. This reconciliation is why quantum mechanics and general relativity appear incompatible. They describe the same light from 2 different sides of this junction. When they meet here, they undergo a transformation that produces what we experience as spacetime. The constants of nature, those hyperspecific numbers like the strength of gravity, represent the fixed mathematical tension required to keep this intersection open. If the ratio shifts, the fields decohere and manifestation fails. Surah 24 describes a light like a niche containing a glass lamp. The DCU identifies this glass as the buffer. It is the mechanism that refracts an unseen wave of potential into a focused, measurable physical particle. The buffer demonstrates that the universe operates through a perfectly calibrated geometry. Manifestation only occurs when the I9 and D10 fields are in exact alignment. Once matter passes through the buffer, it follows the loop toward node 7, the fruit. The DCU maps time as a cycle returning to its source. This loop provides a mechanism for information preservation in black holes. When matter crosses the event horizon, the physical registration is stripped away, but the I9 field preserves the memory of that information, returning it to the seed. We experience time as a strictly forward-moving line because our biological registration is currently traveling the physical inhalation phase of this massive cosmic cycle. Absolute preservation of information is the overarching law of the cosmos. The perceived destruction of matter is a localized effect within the physical field. The complete 2-3-7 loop shows a universe operating as a recursive, self-stabilizing topology. Within this enclosed system, every particle and interaction is strictly conserved. No data leaks and no energy is lost to avoid. The universe functions as a perfectly efficient gradient. It accounts for every action and returns the entire system to its origin, step by step, through the 2-split and the 3 formation. This cosmic math includes a critical variable. You are not a passive observer watching this equation unfold from the outside. The DCU identifies you as a measurement node. D10 measures physical manifestation, while I9 remembers meaning and pattern. The interface between the two, where measurement meets memory, is human consciousness. In this topology, you are the biological execution of Node 3. We can continue to track the 12 shadows of a fragmented physics, or we can recognize our position at the junction of reality. As Node 3, your awareness is the field where the unseen code becomes manifested experience. Surah 39:23 describes the universe as a message in a state of constant return. The DCU framework suggests the system is waiting for you to activate your alignment. Take hold of the book and activate the node.